Young onset Parkinson's disease. It's a mouthful, isn't it? But behind those words are real people. Living, breathing souls facing a tough diagnosis. YOPD is like its more familiar relative, Parkinson's disease, but it strikes earlier in life. Imagine being in the prime of your years, full of dreams, and then the tremors start, the stiffness. The daily struggles most take for granted become monumental tasks. It's not easy. But here's the thing about those living with YOPD. They are fighters, they are resilient, they adapt, they learn, they keep going, but they need our support. Because on top of the physical challenges, there's something else that can make their journey even harder: stress. We all know stress is bad, but for those with YOPD, it can be more than just bad. It can be downright debilitating. Imagine a body already battling a neurological disorder, now bombarded by the toxic effects of stress hormones. It's like trying to run a marathon with a weighted vest. Every step is harder. Stress can worsen tremors, increase stiffness, and make movement even more challenging. It can impact sleep, mood, and overall well-being. It's a vicious cycle. And sometimes that stress comes from the most unexpected places, like our homes. Gap 3S, February 4th, 2024. Breaking the foundation. Imagine realizing that your home, where you had been encouraged to invest emotionally and financially, was going to be taken from you. Aggressive actions by the landlord made this painfully clear. For someone with young onset Parkinson's disease, this kind of stress and trauma can trigger significant emotional and neurological deterioration. Emotional distress becomes intertwined with YOPD symptoms, exacerbating tremors, bradykinesia, and cognitive difficulties. The psychological blow of betrayal, encouraging you to invest, only to threaten removal, creates a sense of helplessness. Gap 5S, February 8, 2024, escalation of harassment. Out of retaliation and anger that you forced them to draft a new lease, the landlord nearly kicked in your door under the guise of collecting things. They refused to provide essential documents while forcing you into an agreement with unconscionable clauses designed to criminalize you. Intimidation tactics worsen your stress response, leading to cognitive fog and emotional paralysis. This marks the start of a clear pattern of retaliation and coercion. Gap 5S, March 5, 2024, treating the lease as void. Despite the new lease being in effect, the landlord began treating you as though you were under a private agreement with no formal protections. They ignored the lease's terms and escalated their harassment, using trespassing as a control tactic. Their actions demonstrate bad faith, creating legal uncertainty and deepening your vulnerability. Gap 5S, March 28, 2024, trespass to force a new lease. The landlord trespassed again, pressuring you to sign yet another lease. This marked a blatant attempt to rewrite the legal relationship to their advantage, ignoring the existing agreement. By repeatedly undermining your autonomy, they push you into a state of emotional and cognitive exhaustion, making resistance nearly impossible. Gap 5S, April 8, 2024, forced transition to a rental agreement. They attempted to reduce your rights further by converting the lease into a simple rental agreement, effectively stripping away protections under Thai law. Simultaneously, they disregarded obvious wiring problems, putting your safety at risk. Their refusal to address critical safety issues demonstrates deliberate neglect, further exacerbating your health problems. Gap 5S, patterns of abuse, encouraging investment to increase dependency, retaliation for legal assertions, use of trespass as intimidation, refusal to address safety issues, psychological and neurological impacts, exacerbation of YOPD symptoms, emotional paralysis and dependency, cognitive decline. How this proves intent, mens rea. The landlord's consistent pattern of retaliation, manipulation, and neglect demonstrates a deliberate intent to exploit your vulnerabilities and strip away your rights. Their refusal to address safety issues, combined with attempts to rewrite agreements, underscores their bad faith and malicious intent. Meet Sarah, a vibrant woman in her late 30s, diagnosed with YOPD a few years ago. She's fighting hard, but her battle is made harder by her living situation. She's facing harassment from her landlord, constant complaints, threats of eviction, and a general disregard for her needs. Can you imagine trying to manage a debilitating illness while also living in fear in your own home? It's like being trapped, Sarah shares. My home should be my sanctuary, a place to rest and recharge. Instead, it's a source of constant anxiety. The stress is unbelievable, and it directly impacts my symptoms. Sarah's story isn't unique. Many with YOPD face similar challenges: housing insecurity, lack of affordable and accessible options, and even discrimination. It's a hidden crisis that needs our attention. We need to do better. We need to understand the invisible battles fought by those with YOPD. We need to create a world where everyone feels safe, supported, and respected, regardless of their health condition. This means advocating for better housing policies, raising awareness about YOPD, and offering a helping hand to those in need. Let's open our hearts and minds to the challenges faced by those with YOPD. Let's create communities that uplift and empower. Let's make a difference, one act of kindness, one policy change, one conversation at a time.